Okay, so I did my creating project on kid-friendly online research. I chose this because our district is going to one-to-one technology next year with the Chromebooks, and I wanted something tangible that I could actually use in my classroom next year. This year, to try it out, I can start using it in the computer lab, and using it now as a whole group in the computer lab will allow me to have some trial and error time that will help me with troubleshooting next year. Also right now, especially with all of our changes in testing, computer skills are becoming just as important as learning how to read, how to write, how to do math. Students need to learn how to type on a computer, find information, and read and answer questions. Currently, even our students are taking online computer tests at the kindergarten and first grade level 2 to 3 times a year. Each test runs about an hour, and they have 2 tests each time, so they have about 6 hours of testing a year at the kindergarten level and the first grade level where they're navigating online. So by having a program like this, they are able to figure out how to use those computer skills even more. The students need to start research at an early age because that allows them to take learning into their own hands. Using a kid-friendly website provides a safeguard to students so they can get used to working on an online environment that keeps their interest, allows them to work at their own pace, but it also allows them to stay safe. The purpose of my lesson is more that students need to be able to find information on their own. Finding this information will help them retain it more because by doing it themselves and finding it themselves, they're going to have more retention skills, whereas if they just sit and listen to me talk, they could get bored, they could get distracted more easily because they're just sitting and listening and not actively involved in their learning. My lessons focus on plants. Plants is a science unit that we talk about in the spring with our first graders, so it is something I can even start using this year. And in the process of it all, the goal is for students to gain a basic understanding of plants in these introduction lessons. They obviously need some tweaking, especially with trial and error. And the point is more, yes, I want them to learn about plants, but I also want them to learn about finding research. So it's kind of a dual thing. I would rather have them learn more about the research process than plants. A lot of our plants are hands-on anyway. So I'm going to show you some of my lessons. And my first lesson said that I just want the students to focus on just exploring the topic of plants. It'll start with me in the classroom, giving them expectations, using the smartboard to give them a brief walkthrough of how to explore the website. They'll be given a worksheet that they'll be expected to fill out as they explore the website. That worksheet looks like this. It says, "Let's learn all about plants." We'll go over, I'll read it with the students, especially for those students who are lower readers. They may need some extra help, especially in the computer lab while doing it. And some hints and tips will be given for students to read this first. We'll go over some ways on how to explore the website. Obviously, we would have done some practice in class first as a whole group modeling and having kids demonstrate through the smartboard computer so they have some understanding of how to navigate and how to find information they need. Back to the lessons. I'll give students about 30 to 45 minutes. They'll have previous computer skills. The main thing is that I want them to learn the process of research. Yes, they're required to complete the worksheet while in the process of the website, but the worksheet will always go over in review in class, help them find the answers that they couldn't find on their own. And the second lesson I'll go over in just a minute. For the second lesson, again, it's going to be exploring a website. The second time is more just to explore on their own, to learn the information, and then we'll come back to class for them to do a sorting activity by themselves. So they're taking some of the skills they learned for the first lesson where they're trying to find information guided with a worksheet, and now they're implementing it and taking it to the next level where there's not as much as of a guide, there's just an end goal. You will need to be able to sort the pictures at the end of the lesson, so you need to find all the information you can on your own. And I'll go back to some of the other questions in the lessons later. The technology I'm using for this is I used Weebly to create the two websites. By creating my own website, it allows me to control the information the students see. Weebly is mostly ad-free, so I can show students what it looks like in the classroom first. There's little chance that they're clicking on a link that will take them to an outside source that they cannot see, should not be on, get lost. Creating my own website helps create the safe online environment for students, and it allows students to learn how to just open up the internet and explore it, because they'll have to type in the URL. And it forces students to find the information on their own, which is a skill that is really hard at our young age level. I'm going to show you the websites. Lesson 1, remember they're supposed to go to All About Plants. And this is what our website looks like. And as you can see, everything's laid out. It's cursive. I've been playing with it, so that should be tweaked a little bit when I use it with the kids. The headings are at the top. It says use the headings at the top to learn all about plants. Watch the video below to get started. And there's also a helpful hints button, so if students click on that, it will take them to a page that talks about what they're supposed to do. We've talked about using the scroll bar before, so students should know to click and scroll. They can watch the video, they can follow along. They should have read this paper first, so they can find a question, what is a plant, like number 2, and they can just go and explore. The heading is what is a plant, so they can find information about what a plant is there. It's very kid-friendly. There's videos to keep their attention. There's short sentences and bullets of information. It's just an introduction. We'll go into this more later. And it's just to give kids some time to explore. It's very basic, very simple. I've also included, as you're exploring this on your own, the student paper online, so you can download it and view that as well. That's going to be the worksheet the kids use. For lesson 2, we're going to get more into what do we get from the plants and the trees. And this is the one that students are expected to just kind of explore on their own. And it doesn't view the right way in Internet Explorer, so that's one of the troubleshooters I'll have to learn about. I do have it open in Firefox. As you can see, the toolbar is different. And this one doesn't have as much information. Again, it has a helpful hints button. Kids can click on it. It's the same helpful hints that they should have before. They can learn about why trees, why do we need trees. Again, there's a video they can use. Very simple headings. Trees give us. They can learn about what trees give us. They can learn about why we need plants. They can learn about what plants give us. There's no order to it. Students can go back and forth. They can think about it. They will be shown the worksheet that goes with it. Obviously, more pictures will be added and tweaked as we continue in the unit. But they'll get this paper. Before we go down, they'll see it. They won't actually get it. And it says, what do we get from plants and trees? They'll be told that the expectation is after they explore the website, they'll come back to class. They'll have to cut the pictures out and let me know by gluing them into if we get the item just from trees, just from plants, or both. and we'll review it in class. So that's what my websites look like. And a lot of my information from lesson 1, it came from a PDF I found online called All About Plants. And a lot of the information came directly from our first grade science curriculum and the current lessons that we're using from the FOSS science kits and the Battle Creek science units. I also found a lot of information for the second lesson on facts about trees and what we get from trees from this website called Tree Facts. My Internet Explorer is a little bit slow on this computer. And I just found some things trees can do, put it into kid-friendly language. So that's what I have. I'll be including links to both of my websites so you can be able to see what they're all about. Also in my lessons, the resources and technology involved is the same. Like I said, students will be using computers, learning the internet. Some of the advantages I already went over. The students can work at their own pace. Yes, there's a 30 to 45 minute time limit, but students can go back and reread as much as they want. They can take their time. They can go back, watch the videos as much as they needed to because it's their own individual assignment. It's not doing it as a group. They have to keep up with the partner. Some of the disadvantages I can see is that technology, there's something always comes up no matter how well planned out it is. Even while I'm doing this presentation, some of my links aren't working, so I'll go back and fix those. Some of my things don't look the same in Firefox where I designed them as they do in Internet Explorer. So you're always going to have troubleshooting. And some students just don't feel comfortable with a computer yet. They're still learning the hand-eye coordination. So while they're learning how to move the mouse, and they need to understand that that changes what's happening on the screen. So at this young age, they're still learning those motor skills, so it might not necessarily be as beneficial to them right now. And my students' reading levels are at a kindergarten level all the way to second, third grade level. And you don't want to make the websites too easy of a reading to bore the kids, but you can't make it hard. So you're going to have your lower readers especially will need help, maybe somebody reading to them. You could partner them up. And this can be transferred to anybody. It has mini lessons. They're effective because it gives them a quick, short lesson what they need to do, then they get to go right away. There's a lot of modeling that will help with clarification and understanding and what the expectations are. And websites can be used for anything. You can have students go through online lessons. You can have different grades do it. You can have different subjects. It's open to endless possibilities. It's kid-friendly. It can be created to kindergarten level all the way up to the complex level of high school and college students. Special education and self-contained classrooms can use it because not all students enjoy paper and pencil, and using something they're familiar with on laptops or especially tablets and touch screens, they can learn a lesson that way. It's more interactive. It allows them to retain the information more. I hope this is enough about my projects. I hope it gets you excited because, like I said, I'm doing this because we're getting one-to-one technology next year. It's something I really actually plan on using in my classroom. My coworkers are already asking me to help them out when we get them for training next year because they know throughout my classes I've been creating all these different websites, and I hope you enjoy it. Please give me any feedback you have on how I can make this better. Thank you.